It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Yeah, if I retire from rapping, how many of y'all will really miss me? My swing is incredible, feel like Timberland and Missy. Some niggas owe me money for the style, bitch, I'm Fendi, that's a double entendre. Y'all better put some respect on me, DJ, and be like Jesus and Meryl. I'm a king, I'm a pharaoh, frequently leading this era. Greatness be seeping through the mirror, hold my image and my likeness. My family tree strong as Osiris, I butt hard on them haters like tendonitis. Been my own man, creating avenues like Rosecrans. Y'all niggas stick to the script, I switch up the program. I hold bands in both hands and slow dance with your main chick, no romance, I'm so advanced. If I tell you hit the bricks, I mean it. I hate extra niggas around me, shit is inconvenient. I'm sitting the name is my head getting bigger than freedom. We sing it for freedom, the money weighing in like Enid. A record sale. I flip streams of income like heads or tails. I spit crack like eggshells. Your girl stay chirping like Nextel. The block stay buzzing like I'm serving a fish scale. Either make a purchase or serve a purpose. The boy blaze trails like Nick Nurkic. Shout it type thick like 6 burgers. If she don't feel the kid, it's a disservice. I'm pinning more hits than Keith Urban. This shit working. Had to steal the beat from flow. I don't keep it low. Best on either coast. Try me, you could be a ghost. Slick like nematode. Swing like Ichiro. Now you tryna sell a fake book. What you be Simone? If they rapping, I don't trust them. Try to stab me in the back, my chiropractor gonna adjust them. Anytime you play a beat, I'm just enhancing the production. With the way I eat, I got to hand you that concussion. Ain't no justice.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there on this Friday. Man, how the mighty have fallen. So we got to come to the table. Come to the table is ironic. As we speak about the game and his little soiree, if you will, out to Toronto. Looks like this comes on Drake's dime. Looks like he got flued out for a nice dinner, a little wine and dine situation. As you know, the game has been riding Drake's coattails for the last few years. Ever since he got that 100 feature, which proved to be very controversial because a lot of people blame Game for bringing Drake to Compton to come post up in the hood and act like he was good in Kendrick's neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, there's a lot of lore around that video shoot and that whole situation and feelings involved. And also some people saying, you know, it really wasn't all that much of a problem because if it was, Kendrick would have pressed the button on him out there when it happened, right? So, but there's a lot of speculation and talk surrounding that collaboration in that video shoot. And there's also talk about how he was, you know, ghastly afraid to even stand out in the open at the video shoot and just kind of stayed close to his security and all that good shit. So ever since that happened, Game has found a very interesting loyalty towards Drake. And he's tried to, you know, continue to promote his connection to Kendrick. You know, he's done interviews where he's come out and, you know, tried to lay claim to being of extra help to Kendrick early on in his career and all of those different things, which it's documented that Game was around. You know, that Game did allow Dot and J Rock to open up for him on the tour and be a part of some things. So we're not going to act like those things never happened. But a lot of people feel like he always puts extra barbecue sauce on the ribs when it comes time to talk about Dot. You know what I mean? All the way up until the battle took place where he found himself comfortably seated on the Drake side, despite all of that connection and all that Compton love that's supposed to be between them. Right? We saw how Game came out after the pop out when people were asking why he wasn't there, why he wasn't at least in the building, even if he didn't perform. He literally, you know, went into a whole spiel about, you ain't got to be there, Nick. Nigga ain't got to invite me nowhere, Nick. I ain't got to be nowhere. He ain't got to invite me nowhere. Everything gonna be all right, nigga. I ain't got to ask no nigga to beg no nigga to take me nowhere, nigga. Well, I guess he didn't have to beg Drake. Because Drake said, I got you, buddy. I got you. come on home. Right? So he's also been in headlines as of late because he's another one of those people who tries to make it seem like Drake has been gone. Like he hasn't been putting music out, like he hasn't been in the public eye, like he hasn't been in the press, like he hasn't been, manipulating propaganda and things in his favor, as if he hasn't been at the courthouse. So he's one of those people that try to say, the game is 50% down without Drake. No pun intended, but wow. The game is 50% down without Drake coming from the game. Woo! Uh so there's also that narrative that a lot of people have been purporting out here that without Drake, I guess, putting out a dedicated solo album and not dropping um, you know, blockbuster singles, that the ecosystem of rap music is suffering because of it. I don't agree, but he's one of those people that have been staunchly behind it and recently came out and said it just last week. Right? So interestingly enough, that comes out last week. This week, he's out in Toronto yucking it up. So here we have this post from Los Angeles Confidential, aka The Game, standing in front of a jet out in Toronto. And he says, last time I was in Toronto, it was called T Dot. Now, nigga, I know it had to have been not called T Dot last time you went to goddamn Toronto. If the last time you been there, it was called T Dot, nigga, that's like goddamn Cardinal official days. Like, what the hell? You ain't been to Toronto in 20 years? But we know Game, if he gonna do anything, it's gonna be lie. Okay? So there's that. Then we get to the stories. To get to the Instagram stories, he posts these wine glasses with Drake's Do Not Disturb song, no less, as the soundtrack. Okay? So it look like we got a little Pinot Grigio or something. I don't know. It might be some Merlot. Who knows what the fuck these niggas is on? But we do see wine glasses. We see Game at the PJ. And then we see some caviar pasta. Okay? So Drake is literally treating Game like Yayo, Tony Yayo, with the caviar pancakes, confit, and goat. They say, all right, man, you can't do this with 50 no more. But I got you, big dog. I'm the big dog. I still got the big checks. I can still get the jet. You know what I'm saying? You've been a good advocate. You've done your job for the last couple of years. You've kept my name exalted as much as you possibly could. So come get some of this food, some of this wine, get flued out on the OVO dime. Okay? You're a good soldier. And there's more. These ain't the only ones. As a matter of fact, there's a whole series. How Many Drinks by Miguel is crazy. The Barge, I Like It, is hella crazy. Chills Up My Spine is wild. Okay? So, this shit crazy, man. And a nigga like Game, he should know how this comes across, man. But no shame in the game when it comes to getting down with OVO, man. The song selection, like, number one, this nigga been rich for like 20 years. So the fact that a nigga can impress you with a couple wine glasses and some fucking caviar pasta is extremely concerning. Like, us common folk could pretty much, I mean, the caviar pasta might be a little expensive. The PJ, yeah, I get it. But come on, man. Come on, man. A meal, a free meal, and a flight, man. I know, motherfuckers say they easy, cheap date, but fuck, man. Just for a little loyalty. That's crazy. Gangster though. You know what I mean? Gangster. Nigga that been on camera, beating niggas up, smashing niggas, girls. You know what I'm saying? Just reckless. Nigga done dissed everybody in hip hop index 3 times over. But when it comes to Drake, we get the softer side of game. We get the wine glass and caviar pasta version of game. You know what I'm saying? Last time I was in Toronto, it was called T Dot. And you know you bold-faced lying unless your ass got on a no-fly zone. This is crazy work, man. Now let's go ahead and pull up what the game recently had to say in order to win this consolation prize and this excursion to Toronto.
There's a world where with Drake is people want him to be a rapper, then some people say not a rapper. But I think he has one of those names that is like, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
He has one of those names where I'm not black, I'm OJ. So that's why people think Jay-Z was dissing Drake the other day, huh? Because, you know, Jay-Z addressed that whole story of OJ shit in his last interview. And then they tried to say, oh, Jay-Z came out and said that if you're pushing 40, you shouldn't be trying to make music like the kids or this or that. As if that was a revelation that was never discovered before. Then you got Game literally coming out here saying Drake is like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And we saw what that did for OJ. Why would you say that in a positive light? Makes no sense. Damn, y'all got fucking ads in your 1-minute clips too, Complex? No wonder Speedy got the fuck out of there.
You got to think, ever since Drake been quiet or chilling or not Draking as usual, the world off, bro. You walk in clubs, everybody on their phone. Nobody looks like they having a good time no more. We don't even know, if you walked in a club today, what song would make you happy about being there right now?
There's some like...
Yeet gonna come on, turn y'all up. He gonna turn y'all section up.
Nah, there's some y'all...
And I'm not saying, yeah, I'm saying this is why Drake needs to go.
Why would Yeet's name even come up? And I don't know if Drake will be too kind about you shitting on Yeet. Because Yeet been trying to keep him turned up too. But
up. What are we doing, bro? This
Drake
shit
needs to bring the world to equilibrium.
Bro, this sad without Drake in the club. It's sad, bro. But we got Drake out here feeling like we didn't appreciate him. So now he tucked away working on Iceman, chilling, feel like they don't appreciate me. He should never feel like that.
This is not the first time we've heard this narrative specifically aimed at the club. They feel like Drake has been missing from the club festivities, and because of it, the nightlife has been suffering. We heard the same thing from Heineken and Esso on the East Coast. Now we're hearing this from Game on the West Coast. I don't know what it is about near 50-year-old men that are finding themselves still in the club, feeling like they need Drake in the air for their libations and I guess to try to bag another chick or something. But that's where we at with it. Okay. Additionally, in this interview, he also addressed why he seemed to be siding with Drake in the midst of the back and forth battle. Okay.
When the whole thing popped off, everybody was like, you supposed to be with the West Side.
Stupid ass ad.
As far as like being one of the greatest ever, like people thought that I was going to change my opinion of how I felt about Drake because he was at war with Kendrick. I'm not going to do that. When the whole thing popped off, everybody was like, you're supposed to be with the West Side. And I was like, we are the most segregated culture in hip hop. Y'all want to say we supposed to be so West Side, but before you drive by the ops hood with your window down and yell out, where y'all from, cuz? Is it about the West Side end?
Or is it about where?
Is it about your section or how you feel in that moment?
Yeah.
Right? Y'all ain't doing that. So let me do me on my type of time, and I'm gonna let you know how you should walk accordingly when you have camaraderies or real friendship.
All right, so we even got Game pretty much who's been, you know, the quintessential hip hop gangbanger for the last 20 years. Now saying, hey, when y'all decide that y'all want to go ride out on y'all enemies, are y'all thinking about West Coast, or is y'all thinking about how you feeling in that moment, or representing your section, and that ain't about the West Coast? Now, on the surface, one could say kind of makes sense if you're actually doing a deep dive into the specifics of gangbang activity and this whole tribalism and all this different type of stuff. There is a world that exists in which what Game is saying makes sense. But what I find to be interesting is somebody like Game, who has deep ties on both sides. He claims that he once upon a time was in the running to have a literal ownership stake in Top Dog Entertainment, which is the label that, of course, brought Kendrick Lamar to the forefront. I would think at bare minimum, with having those ties on both sides, neutrality would have been the best option, right? I'm going to stay in the middle. I'm going to let y'all duke it out. You know what I mean? And I'm going to call both of y'all when it's over and give y'all both encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you didn't win, but you put up a good fight. Hey, you got him. Good shit, my nigga. I ain't gonna go too far with it because I fuck with both of y'all, but y'all put on a good show. Y'all took it to the championship. Y'all put y'all blood, sweat, and tears into the game. I feel like both of y'all rose to the occasion. Y'all entertained the people, and I'm gonna slide out on that note. You know what I mean? I think that's what most people would have expected from Game, at least in logical land. But for him, again, he got that feature. He brought Drake to Compton. You know, Drake, I guess in his purview, has the upside because he's more of a pop sensation. You know, he's a little bit more. I don't want to say. I guess you could say popular numbers wise. You know, all these records and stuff. So it's kind of like, I'm not finna sacrifice my proximity to that, right? I can sacrifice my proximity to the little homie who I seen grown and kind of overtake my spot when they said that I was the new king of the West. He came up just a few years later and knocked me out of that throne. I'm still happy for him, but I still always feel some type of way about it. He's in the position that I'm supposed to be in long term, but I do fuck with him. I fuck with his family. I fuck with his people. But deep inside, there's a little bit of something there. I do believe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because again, there's a lot of people in the industry that fuck with both sides, and a lot of people in the industry, despite there being so many people that just loved not like us and couldn't keep silent about it, that actually did. Right? But, you know, it's like this ongoing thing where they say Game is gonna be Game. They expect him to be who he is. We hear him take little digs and stuff on his albums, trying to get buzz. Do I think he means harm when he throws Drake or Kendrick's name in his bars? Not particularly. This is somebody, once again, who has dissed everybody in the hip hop index. If he could find a word that rhymes with your name or a way to make it sound slick, he gonna throw that bitch in there. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days a J Nolan bar comes out and I'm gonna be like, damn, how? That's not me asking for that. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. You know? So there's that. Now, in other Game news, we had this situation the other day where Game's son, I think he's now an adult, I think he's 21. They took him to dinner and happened to run into none other than Dr. Dre. It was purported as a, you know, like a reunite type of situation, a reunion situation. But people on the internet who watched this video just a couple times said, I don't know if Dre really was supposed to be there. Looks like they may have just bumped into him in the parking lot and he just gave his cordial hellos and got the fuck on.
All these motherfuckers been paid.
I can't play the music, but you see what's going on. You see Game, his son. He's happy.
Mad big. Look at that.
Ahmad, man. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Nice to meet you, man. So,
Turn 19 today.
Really?
That's all.
Where is he?
Man.
What's up with him? How you doing, my man?
My nigga Dre said, "Where is he? Where is he?" Nigga, you don't know him? You don't recognize his face, man.
How you doing? Y'all niggas look just alike, man. How you doing, man? Good, man. Good to see you.
birthday boy right here.
What's up? Happy birthday, man.
Doctor's advocate, baby. Documentary, baby.
All right. Yeah, man. Good to see you.
That's perfect, man. Appreciate it, man.
All you old record labels.
Dre threw that deuce and got the fuck up out the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, where is he? Well, shit, where the birthday boy at? Shit, let me give him a dap and get the fuck up out of here for y'all start hooting and hollering out this bitch. I know how y'all do. And then, of course, we had Drake throw Dre and Lucian Grange in the little Iceman magazine, Iceman Plus, ISO Plus, whatever the fuck that was. So all of this seems to be a little intertwined, got its own little Marvel Comics world going on. You know, very interesting. All that being said, you know, I hope Game enjoyed his caviar pancakes and pasta and you know, couple mocktails, cocktails, and things like that. Just very interesting how this stuff plays out. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there, man. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stacks I built. I had to